Hello everybody, welcome to the TheReptile124 Reviews, and today I'm going to be reviewing the Sony PlayStation 1. Remember my Reptiles Game Room Top 25 video game console list? Where I put the NES at number 1? Number 2, the PlayStation 1. Give you our number 1 greatest console of all time. Ladies and gentlemen, the Nintendo Entertainment System. Well, I swapped. The number 1 greatest console of all time, in my opinion, is the Sony PlayStation. I was more of a PlayStation guy back then. As a matter of fact, this was the very first video game console I ever owned and played too. We'll get to the others in a little bit. So just sit back and enjoy it because we're going to talk about the PS1. Now, first we're going to be talking about the console design itself. It's more of a rectangular, kind of thing. It's more wider than the Dreamcast. As a matter of fact, the CD tray is also a little bigger too. And like the Sega Saturn, it uses only two controller ports. However, you can use a multi-tab to play 4 players. And it also uses 2 memory cards, which I don't have with me at the moment. But I do have 2. But I do have 2 of them, and one of them has nothing on it. So I was pretty lucky to actually get a memory card with full data on it. Now, as you well know, you've probably seen my other PlayStation review. This is a brand new PS1 that I bought because the one that had my username signed on it was broke down. So instead, I bought this one. I actually have 2 PS1s in working condition. This one's the model SCPH 9000-001, and it was from East Starland, as you can see from the sticker up here, where it says remove void. It says warranty void if removed. So we already did that. It has big giant buttons. Here's your power button. Here's your reset button and the open button. Notice that the tray is right here. Notice that the lens is over here rather than over here. Sony kind of made a switch of plans. This is the other side. I actually have the model SCPH7501 somewhere else, and it actually has the Perel thing, but on this model it doesn't. But it does have the serial output, and the AV out, and your power adapter. Just simple stuff. Do I also need to mention the Sony PlayStation was released in 1995 to the US market as well, but in 1994 in Japan. But this certain model was manufactured in 1999 of July. Now look at this. When it came out, they invented one of the greatest controllers of all time, and I'll tell you why. When I plug this in, let me show you why. This is debatably probably the best controllers ever made. The PlayStation went on one controller with no analog sticks. I do have the original DualShock controller. I'll show you guys that in a second after I show this thing off. It's got up, down. It's got a D-pad. Select and start. Triangle, circle, X, and square rather than A, B, and all that kind of stuff like the Xbox controller. It also has 2 buttons on top. This is the back of the controller. It's in pretty good shape. I mean, there's nothing much they can pretty much add to it. Now, let me show you the second controller. This one is known as the DualShock controller, which came out in 1998, which was the same year the first Gran Turismo came out, and Gran Turismo is the best-selling game on the PlayStation, selling over 10 million copies. Here's the DualShock one. Notice that the plug is the same. Well, just to prove to you that it's not the same, I'm going to prove to you guys that this is the DualShock controller. This is it. The original DualShock controller. See it? This one is just the same controller. It's the same controller except that the buttons are bigger and it's got analog sticks. I mean, they do press down, but I don't think they function. But yeah, this is the original DualShock. This is the controller that came with this. This one I bought separately. But this DualShock controller I bought separately. I mean, this is the one that I got from Game Alley. I have another one where the other one came with this, but it doesn't work right. So instead, I had to get this one instead. But still, it's a DualShock controller. So that's all that really matters to me right now. Probably the one thing that the PlayStation was good at was its library of games that were released for it. So I can't. This is probably my favorite subject on here: the library of games that were released for this thing, and I'm gonna show you why. Here's the first game. Well, not the first game, but this was one of the early ones. But this is a greatest hit re-release, the first Ridge Racer, despite its mixed reviews. But I'm not basing it off that. I love Ridge Racer, period. Here's Namco Museum, which also was an early title, which was a Namco compilation title. This one was released, I believe, after Tekken 1 came out on PlayStation, if I do recall. I mean, let's think about it. Both these games were released in 1995. Like, here we go. The first Tekken. You want to kick some butt in this game? You want to kick your neighbors or your brothers or sisters' butt in it? Play this. It's a game that's worth buying. Most of these games are pretty cheap nowadays, and that's what I'm mostly impressed about. But you guys will be surprised by how many games I have for this thing once you guys look at it. Here's one of my favorite fighting games ever made, Tekken 2. Which came out in 1996, and in 98, well, it came out in 97 in the arcade, but it wasn't as popular in the arcade, but it was popular when it came out on PlayStation. Tekken 3. But this is one of the best games ever made. Everybody would agree with me. Tekken 3. There's Jin Kazama on the cover. He's my favorite character of the whole series. If you guys wanted to know what I think of him. He's bad A. That's all I can describe him. Here's Soul Blade. This is the first one of the Soul series. Compilation. This one I had as a child, which I still remember. Arcade's Greatest Hits, the Midway Collection 2. This is so awesome. You guys think that's enough games? Nope, that's not all I have. Activision classic games for the Atari 2600. Already mentioned those. Here's a hard one. Rallycross. It's an alright game, but it's a hard sob. Yeah, I said sob that time. My favorite racing game ever made. See? I just proved it to y'all. See? I just proved it. At San Francisco Rush. But when I recorded the gameplays, that disc that I had wasn't working anymore, so I bought it. So instead, I bought another one from me, Starland. But yeah, this is it. I proved to you guys that I do have San Francisco Rush. The other one I had broke down. I mean, it's not working. I mean, think about it. Here's Need for Speed 3 Hot Pursuit, which is also on PC if you want to have better graphics. Many people like the PS1 version. Don't know why, but whatever. They liked it. They liked it. I don't care. Siphon Filter. This is one of the greatest third-person shooter games I've ever played. This is the first one. It's rated teen. I bought this at Next Level, of course. The best-selling game on the PlayStation. Like I said earlier, Gran Turismo. Gran Turismo 2. Yep, we've got a few more games here. You guys are surprised by how many games I have so far. Here's Madden 2001. Might get another version of that. NFL Game Day 2001. 2. And iHeart Drag Racing. It's nothing but attitude. Think again. I'll review this on That's a Mad Reptile because there's something wrong with this game. Tony Hawk Pro Skater 3. I know people prefer other versions, the main versions of it. And finally, if you guys are glad, the last one, Atari Anniversary Edition Redux. So yeah, in total, these are 19 PS1 games that I have here. So I have tons of games for this thing, and I will be getting more. And another thing that I also need to show you with Gran Turismo 2, this official strategy guide costed like $2.95 on eStarland. It's a Gran Turismo 2 strategy guide, which basically shows you it basically shows you like the license tests and all that. Yeah, it basically shows you the license tests and how to complete them. It even shows you for the simulation mode which cars are there to see which ones you could buy. I do apologize if you can't see all of it. And then there was also this one page, I believe, where it will show you. Yeah, here it is. It will also show you how to. This map. It will also show you how to complete the map. And there's also other official strategy guides as you can see here, like the first Grandia and Crash Team Racing. But this one is Gran Turismo 2. So that's pretty much it. That concludes this review for the PlayStation. It's the greatest game console ever made. The worst, the Tiger Electronics R-Zone. But this is what I think of so far is the greatest game console I have ever played. The PS1. This is basically a masterpiece version of the Panasonic 3DO. Just about. I mean, come on. Panasonic and Sony were like the main CD guys. What about the CDI? We're not even going to talk about that. But anyways, thanks for watching this review, the TheReptile124 Reviews for the PS1. I did this the best way I could. Now, probably the best review, I'll talk about the Nintendo GameCube. Oh boy! Now I bought a new Platinum GameCube that's in better working condition than my black one. My black one isn't working anymore. But anyways, peace out. This is Chicken and Noodles. Whatever. I don't give a crap.